Okay, so not that any of the metrics that we just discussed are not important, but we're going to break down really the big components, the meat of what it is that we kind of care about inside of our ad account, the metrics that are really going to tell us if these ads are working, if they're doing what we want them to do. So the first one we're going to talk about is ROAS. Sometimes people will just say ROAS. It stands for return on ad spend, and it's the marketing universe's acronym for ROI. So return on ad spend is one of the most important metrics that you're looking for when you're running your ads. It's kind of the creme de la creme. ROAS tells you that for every dollar you spend in ads manager, you're making X amount of dollars. And this number is what you want to always pay attention to. This is an important reminder about setting your account up correctly from the start, because Facebook calculates your ROAS utilizing your Facebook pixel. And the goal of this number is always to be above 1. In a perfect world, you want to see this number hitting 4, 5, and beyond. So when we look at ROAS, we look at all levels to understand across all of our campaigns, ad sets, and ads are getting a combined average ROAS above 1. So those numbers mean basically an X return. So if we are hitting a 2X return for every dollar that we're spending, we're making $2. So if we're hitting a 3X return for every dollar we're spending, we're making $3. So the higher that ROAS is, the more money you're making on that ad spend. The next metric is purchases. So purchases in this inside of Facebook simply just means the volume or number of purchases made. So this one's pretty self-explanatory in its importance, but this is obviously a number that you want to see continually and steadily increasing. So if purchases are starting to fall off, maybe you're out of inventory, maybe there's something up with the site, maybe you're, the product quality, maybe there's reviews. But if this starts to fall off, there might be something more internal that you want to review. But otherwise, we want to see this continue to increase. Our next one is purchase value. So purchase value is the dollar amount you've made on your store, on your items from Facebook ads. So this amount is important for a variety of perspectives. First off, this amount is what Facebook utilizes to calculate your ROAS. So again, going back to our proper account setup. Second, it's important to look at your purchases versus your purchase value, especially if you have a store with a variety of different priced products. So if your purchase volume is incredibly high, but your purchase value is low, we might be advertising to the wrong products, or we might need to rethink your promotional strategy. So if you've got a store and you've got, products that are $100 and you've got products that are, $10, and your ads are converting people at the $10 rate and not at the $100 rate, you're looking at maybe a 2X return instead of a 10X return, or, depending on what the cost of your cost per acquisition is, or cost per conversion, which leads us right into the next one. So cost per conversion means how much money did Facebook ads spend on average for someone to click through and purchase your product, or to view your ad and purchase a product. So cost per conversion is important to note for a few of reasons. Obviously, we just mentioned purchase conversion value, but the main one is that you always want your cost per conversion to be less than the lifetime value of your customer. So if you don't have your lifetime value quite yet, don't worry. But you want to have your cost per conversion be less than the average price of items on your site. So, in the example we just used, if you're selling a bunch of things, your purchase conversion value is low, and your cost per conversion is, if you're selling things that cost $10 and your cost per conversion is $10, our return's probably not where we want it, and we're maybe paying a little bit too much. And now we want to kind of rethink our ad strategy. Where are we sending people through on our ads? How is our site structured? So all of these metrics kind of run together in determining what we need to do and what our next steps are. So, if I'm seeing a return that's going up, I want to kind of stay the course and maybe add some more budget into a campaign to encourage that. If my return is going down, maybe I'm now trying to understand what's causing that. So this kind of leads us into like, how do we look at all of this? How do we kind of slice and dice? So there's a ton of different ways to look at this data and get really, really granular with what you're looking at. But most of the times it's simple is better. In life, in all things. So when you're looking at all of the metrics we just talked down, we first look at what all of the blended or average numbers are at the account or campaign level before we start getting into things on the more individual ad set and ad level. So if performance at the top level is moving in the right direction, that's what you're looking for. Then you can take the time to get into individual ad sets and individual ads to understand their performance in the broader scheme and ways to improve each of those. So looking at your ads right away is great, and seeing your numbers increase over the first few days is a great feeling. But before you really take stock in your numbers, start adjusting ads and budgets and all of those different placements, give your ads at least 7 to 10 days of time. The Facebook algorithm really needs time to learn and serve your ads in the smartest and most efficient way possible. And if you're making changes every single day, it's never going to get the chance to do so. So let those ads live for a little while right after you made them. Get some early reads, understand, kind of the direction that you're leaning. And then as you're starting to analyze all of that data, start at the top and work your way down. So from a campaign level, how's our performance doing? How are each of these campaigns doing? Then inside of that, how are different ad sets performing that are encouraging or kind of pulling away from that campaign performance? And then inside of that, are there ads that you've got in there that have spent a lot of money but aren't showing a lot of conversions? Can we change those out? Can we change the copy, or do we just need to turn those off? But give your account time to reach a little bit of maturity before you start doing those things. You're going to want to jump in right away. Don't. Let it take some time, and then again, start at the top and work your way down. All right, you guys, so we are in the home stretch. So we mentioned that your ROAS is one of, if not the most important metric to look at when you're reviewing your ads. So we're going to leave you with some goals you should try to hit to start, and let you know about some of the amazing numbers that we've seen in working with Shopify stores over the last few years. So just really quickly, we want all of these things to blend together. So at the top of the funnel, you should be trying to hit a minimum of a 1x on your ROAS, on your return on ad spend. The middle of the funnel, you should have a minimum of a 3x on your return on ad spend. And at the bottom of your funnel, you should have a minimum of a 5 on your return on ad spend. It's going to take a second for you to get there. Remember what we just said about giving your ads some time. It might not happen right away. Facebook's got to learn and figure it out. So these numbers combined to start should get you an average ROAS for your account of about a 2x, which means, like I said, you're making $2 for every $1 you spend, and you're moving in the right direction. That is your ads doing exactly what you need them to do, which is making money for the business, making sales for the business, and making more money than they're spending. So I want to leave you with a little bit of inspiration and some things that you can shoot for that we know can happen because we've seen them happen. We've helped our streetwear clothing brands start out with a 5 or a 6x and progress all the way up to a 15x in 2020. And we've helped a small women's wear brand go from a social media presence all on her own, no ads, and a struggling website to regularly getting above a 20x return every single month. And these are not outliers. These are things that we're seeing happen more and more and more. And you absolutely can get there. So keep going, keep building on your ads knowledge. And we hope you enjoyed the course. Thanks so much, everyone.